Hey, and welcome to Anne's Norwegian Knitting, conversations where knitting meets culture, heart, and history. I'm Anne, and in this podcast, we're going to slow down stitch by stitch to explore the stories, the traditions, and joys that live in our knitting. Sometimes it's going to be just me, other times you will meet Steph, and other times again, I will be joined by friends, colleagues, or special guests. But always, always, always with yarn in hand and curiosity at heart. Thanks for being here. Let's dive into the next episode.
Hey, it's time for another podcast with and
Steph.
yeah, and this time we're doing a video podcast.
Hey, everybody.
The thing is, I'm gonna throw Steph under the bus here because the thing is, we've had a week off since last Tuesday, both Steph and I, and we're both going back to civilization tomorrow. We are in very different places, as you probably see. I'm up in my mountains with lots of winter and snow, and Steph is
I'm at the beach in Costa Rica. I got in from surfing, everybody. You can see. I still have my bathing suit on. My hair's all nice and blonde from the salt water.
Yeah, it is actually. It has gone blonder this week. And you can see the surfboards.
I just got in from surfing.
And before we went, I was fairly strict. And I said, this week, we are not working. None of us are working. We are going to keep this at the minimum and just recharge because it has been busy with for those of you who don't know it, we hosted a virtual retreat, not this weekend, but the weekend before, from Thursday to Sunday, which hours between 6 and 7 hours every day. So it's a fairly comprehensive thing. And so we needed a break and we needed a rejuvenation. That's the right word, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll let the creativity back in.
Yeah, I can tell you for sure. But this happens every time I'm up here. I don't want to go home because I have all these ideas in my brain. But okay. So anyway, but then Steph said, why don't we do one thing this week and meet up for a podcast and then we can show off
our different vacations, our different time off.
Yeah.
We really do leave and go someplace great.
Pardon?
We really do leave our computers and go someplace great for 1 week.
Yeah, we do. And it's so fun being able to do this sitting, me up north almost, where Santa Claus lives. And you are almost down that equator. Not quite.
The equator in Central America.
Yeah. And I love that. And you can also see it from the attire of it. Anne is here in her wool. And Steph is there. It's so sweet. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. What are we going to talk about today?
Let's talk about what we traveled with. I want to show off a little.
Okay.
On the airplane on the way down, I finished my January mittens. I even got the little Pico edge sewed up. They're not blocked, of course, but I've got 2.
Oh, yeah. I only got 1 still. I think maybe I have mine. I did bring the yarn though. Yeah, but I still got only 1 mitten.
These are great mittens. So you guys, I even told Anne this. I almost didn't make them because they're hearts and I'm not a very heart person, but they look so cool, purple. And they have Pico edge and they have the Latvian braid.
Yeah.
It's all my favorites.
Yeah, I love it. And you made the original version that you find in the Mitten Bonanza, right?
I did.
Yep. It's January mitten in the Mitten Bonanza.
Yes.
I did one with slightly less details on it because, I thought I knew my own pattern and I didn't. And then, this one became a February project in the mountain journey. And I still won. I have cast on the second one, but I haven't been able to do it because I've been working on something else this week.
So I use Soul yarn on this. And so it's thicker than your recommended. And I love this yarn. I love the mitten. I love the way it turned out.
Which
It's-
yarn did you use?
I use Soul.
So, from Hillesvåg?
Yeah,
I love that yarn as well.
I love this yarn.
Yes. There is, yeah, and there's more
It's the
coming.
perfect size.
It is more coming as well in that yarn.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear
Yes.
that. Because so do I. I really like it because I really like this one, which is made out of Sølje and Vilje from Hillesvåg, which is slightly thinner. I love this one, but it's only 1 to 2 stitches different in gauge. And you wouldn't think that makes such a difference when you knit, but it does. We
Yes.
all know about gauge and what it does to the size, but the difference of the feel of when you knit it is very different. Those two yarns are very different.
They are. And I like them both. But I
Yeah.
love the Soul. There's something about it. I just love the feel of this yarn.
Yeah.
Feel, the size. I love it.
Me too. The summer project in the mountain is going to be in Sol and Tinda. Everyone. So Sol and Tinda are, for those of you who don't know, Sol and Tinda are both Hillesvåg yarn, and they are made to go together.
Yeah.
One is made from gray fleece, and one is made from white fleece from different sheep's types, races, breeds. That's what we call it. A breed in Norwegian is en rase. Rase. Breed is rase. So it's so easy to just make an Englified version of that word and call it race. And then all of a sudden we are racing down the road. I don't know if you know, this was quite fun because during the retreat, where we had these Sami people coming, the 2 Sami women coming in to tell about their heritage and their knitting and all that stuff. It was absolutely amazing. But one of those, another said that she wasn't very strong in English, and she managed. But
She
one
did
of them, did. She absolutely did. She did have support with her friend lived in it, and I helped them out as well. But it turned out really nice. But the thing is, when we were talking, she was talking about masks, and that was so fun because that's another one. Stitch in Norwegian is must.
Must.
Yeah, and so it's written with as a mask, but with an e at the end, and it's so easy to just take that word and make it English, and then it becomes and then we are going to the carnival. So anyway, yeah, lots of
I
digressions.
also brought along my Nidaros, and I started it in the plane, and I did do the. I just lost your stitch marker. I did do the in the back, the vending.
Yeah, the shoulders. Yeah, okay. The vending. That's a completely different thing. The sweetie pie.
Is that
In English.
yes in English?
But in Norwegian, vending is the short roast. Yeah, did you start on
Then I think of it in Norwegian first before I could get the word in English.
That's awesome. You're getting the right, what you call it. We are making an impact on you. You are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Actually, by the way, this one here is loose. This one is. I'm actually going to take it off. Since I'm indoors.
You're wearing your level 3 today.
Yeah, I'm wearing my level 3 today. I am. Because it was so warm outside. I was sitting outside knitting, and we call it, how did this end up being a Norwegian English
Lessons.
Yeah, because this is we call it in the sun wall when we sit in
In the sunbeam?
Yeah, we sit against the wall and soak in the sun because we find a place which is not that windy, and that's very often against the wall, and we soak in the sun, especially at this part of the year when the sun is coming back. So between now and let's say end of May, it's like we're just soaking in that sun as much as we can. And I think I mentioned it on my Instagram yesterday, but when we have this kind of weather at this kind of at this time of year. We call Easter weather.
Oh, yes.
Because we all have this illusion that Easter is all blue sky. We're all sitting in the next to the cabin wall, soaking in the sun, eating our quick lunch chocolates and oranges and drinking solo soda and in Easter weather. The reality is that we sometimes have Easter weather, other times it's Easter weather, but it's blowing so much that we can't be outside, or it's actually raining and foggy. So there we go. But anyway, today we've had all 4 seasons, but I've had some good weather this week and some bad, but I've had some really good weather as well. So I've been using all my hats in different,
You had an orange hat on your Instagram this week.
I did. You want to see it?
Yes. I
Oh,
almost yelled orange on air.
what's happened? And several of our knitters was like, I got DMs from our knitters from the inside saying, "Hey, what is this?"
A color. You wore a color.
And
It looks really good.
An orange hat. Yeah. It's actually, this is what we called old pink in Norwegian.
Oh, old pink.
Yeah, we call it old pink. When it's the pink is, it can be different use to it, but it's pink with a lot of gray in it. That's old pink. So it's old pink and orange.
Well, it looks good.
Yeah, and
It was a sock stealing color.
and the biggest pom pom ever.
Nice big fur one.
Yeah, this one is okay. I'm gonna show you. This one,
Yeah.
and this one, and this one are all the same hats.
Are they the crystal hat?
No, they are the November hat in the knit place.
Oh.
Yeah. And they are, this is Anne color, right?
Yeah.
Light blue. Another Anne color, brown.
Oh, that looks good on you too. Yeah.
Yeah. I quite like this one.
You did so many in the same pattern. That's unlike you.
Yeah. And this one is also, this is the last one I made last year. These were the second hat I ever made.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I had this at one point. I think I had 15 different colors, but I sold them. The ones that I never used, I sold. But these ones I had used, and this one was never for sale. And not this one either. This one I could have sold at some point, but I'm really glad I didn't. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, so that's not very me. 4 hats, same, different colors, same hat, but different colors. And that was made in those 3 here are made in a different yarn that is not available outside of Norway.
There must be a reason you brought so many of them up there. This is an unscripted conversation, so you might have to do cutouts.
Yeah. No. The reason is that I always do stuff like that when I go to the mountains. I pack. I'm not kidding. I pack 2 bags, traveling bags, fairly big ones. One is with stash that you need here. When it's going in the winter, you need a bit more than summer dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a bit spacious and stuff. And then the other bag is equally full with knit. Yeah, so you bring
already done and in progress.
mittens and cowls and more mittens. Because I never know what the weather is, and I never know what I might be able to take some good photos. Because I'm actually, part of my living is made from photos. Actually, all of my living is made from photos, because if I can't prove what I'm doing with photos, then no one is going to be tempted to join us on anything. Every time I go to the mountains, I take 500-600 pictures with different stuff. Yeah. And it's cool to have fresh pictures. I like having.
Yes. Something new.
Yeah. And like today I did, because I was wearing this one, and then it makes sense to take a few pictures. And I have a lot of pictures with this one on taken in the summer, because this is primarily to me a summer sweater because it's thin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And wide. Mine is really, it's open it's really wide. Mine. And it's made not to hold the warmth in, just to give it a black feeling, but being a sweater. But I never taken photos with the snow background.
Oh.
And so I thought I'll do that. So I did that today. As much as I can Photoshop stuff, but I don't like doing it. And it looks better when we have the real. Yeah. Because I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Add the cowl on, I assume, in your pictures.
I do. Absolutely. And then with the scenery that you got out here, you just have to. Yeah. I know. Yeah, so that's, so and then I bring another 4 or 5 projects to mix on, because I never know what mood
I know.
Yeah.
I have to plan my projects small for the airplane because I need to knit on the plane.
Yeah.
So I'm jealous that you get to bring a bunch.
Yeah, because I have been working, this has been my priority this week. I've been working on, because this is the cardigan the pattern that is going to, no one who joined the 2026 retreat is getting this cardigan. And we have a follow-up call after the retreat, a post-gathering on Thursday, where I'm going to go through the pattern for this one, because they've already got the pattern to fingerless knits. But the cardigan, so my primary focus has been to this to as close as possible to the finish line. It's not going to be finished by Thursday.
That's okay.
Yeah, but the sleeves are now ready to join. They are lying over there, so I'm done. I'm going to start knitting in the round, to join the sleeves, and then get started on the raglan. So that's one thing, but that has been my priority. And then I thought, I have a level 2 that needs sleeves.
I know. I'm partially through my level 2 sleeves, and I was going to bring it, and I thought, it's too big on the plane.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, if I had some extra time, or I feel like it, I could work a bit on this one. Never got around to do that.
Now's the time.
Yeah. So that's going to be, hopefully this weekend, I'm going to do some work on that one. Then I am also knitting on a pair of mittens, and have made one.
Oh, those are pretty.
Yeah. And they are going to be, these are for the people that's coming to Norway for the in-person retreat this summer. This one is
a little
actually
teaser.
Yeah, this one is actually for my brother-in-law. They got letters.
The initials.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought maybe I should start on the second one. That never happened. And then, seriously, let's talk about travel knits. And then I did bring my Eternity sweater, which has almost one sleeve. And then the other one needs to be done. So there we go. Never happened either. You never know. Yeah. Going on a plane, I would probably do the same.
Yes.
I wouldn't bring everything in, though, into the cabin. Well, are you knitting while you're down there in the warm?
Yes, but inside the air conditioning.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too hot outside. My fingers just like sweat and stick. Yeah, I tried.
Okay. How warm is it?
88. I don't know what that is in your.
Okay, I'm going to find out, because I need that is 80. It doesn't mean anything to me. Conversation temperature. Do you need help? No, but I do need you to tell me what 88 Fahrenheit is. Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't say that. I mean, seriously, woman.
My dad's behind my screen. He's pretty laughing.
31 Celsius.
Yes. It's hot. It's hot
That-
here.
Yeah, that's a heat wave in Norway in July.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
every
that's
day
a
here.
heat- Yeah, that's, oh gosh. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm not sure I'd go into Costa Rica. I can feel the creep going down my spine. The fluids.
Yeah, tomorrow it's not going to be so nice. I'll be back in Minnesota tomorrow. We'll be closer to your 0, our 31.
Yeah, in Minnesota. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be right now. Cool. Okay.
So
Anything
it's
else?
going to come out. You and I will be home by the time it comes out.
Yeah, we will. It's coming out on today. It's Monday for those of you who are wondering, and we are leaving tomorrow, Tuesday, both of us. And this is coming out on Wednesday, and Wednesday is also the perfect fit workshop.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're watching this late in the day, the workshop has probably already been done. That being said, you can watch it in replay for a week or so. But more importantly, the level 2 should be open for sign up now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they could sign up. We're going to have a first official call a week later on the 19th, I think it is.
What? We do the welcome call on the 19th, and then we start the teaching on the 2nd of April, right?
Yes.
So that is for those of you who, the perfect fit workshop, if you didn't catch it, I would definitely say that go and watch it in replay because you can. You need to sign up to get access, but still. And that level 2 thing it's actually, yes, it's about so many things, but one of the things is to get that perfect fit knowledge into practice, isn't it?
Yeah. To
Yeah.
learn about your own body, what your sizes are compared to what the fashion industry says that they should be, to fit it to you. It's an important hour. It's really more than an hour. You take more than an hour.
Yeah, it normally takes an hour and something. I try to keep it to close to an hour as possible. But then I do a Q&A the day after, and I always also do I invite you to some live stuff in the week when following the retreat. Oh, my brain is all about retreats. We are planning next year, so I've been thinking about that all day, but we're not going to talk about that now. But Steph and I are going to talk about it later this week, I presume. Yeah.
There's already a theme for next year for the virtual retreat. Everybody knows it's coming out.
Yeah, it is. And should we tell them how we've had a lot of people from this year's retreat signing up for next year? Yeah, a lot.
Wow.
They were happy. Yeah. No, so that workshop is because this is the thing. I've been talking about this in a couple of podcasts recently, and you and I have touched on it as well in a previous podcast. But this fitting your needs is. I made a post today on Facebook or Instagram or something, and then I said something like, "Do you want your knit to be oversized? If so, how much oversized? Do you want your knits to be fitted? If so, how much fit? Whether you want it oversized or fitted, if you have those tools that you get in the Perfect Fit workshop and you know how to utilize them and use them and get to know and spend some time getting to know your knitting and at the same time using those measuring tools that we show you, then you have all the tools you need to create exactly what you want. But the thing is, you need to know the tools. You need to know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, nothing is going to help. You need to know where you're going. And then you have the tools and then perhaps a map, which could be the pattern. Then tools, map, use those tools together with the map pattern. And then you get to the fitted or oversized version that you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have a community to help you tell you what looks good on you. Because I think people don't know.
And that's the thing. And also this uncertainty of standing. There's this thing about people keep saying that you can learn everything from YouTube. And yes, you can. You definitely can. I think they can teach you almost anything from YouTube. One, you have to spend a lot of time finding the stuff. Two, you have to spend a lot of time verifying if this is actually what you want. Three, you have no one to talk to and to discuss with or get feedback from. And that's what you get when you join a live course. And in this day and age, when everything is artificial, I'm not against artificial, but I'm so much more I'm extremely pro-human.
Yes, artificial. And then everything's so standardized. And this is to the individual.
Yeah, exactly. This is all about you.
That's my dad.
Yeah, that's nice. I love that. Yeah, no, exactly. So no, I totally agree. And it's a personalized thing in a personalized environment that makes all the sense. And people are coming back again and again. So if you want to level 2, have a clear click at that perfect fit and then check out the level 2. Then maybe you are gonna knit one of those, but preferably with sleeves.
With sleeves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fits your length, fits your...
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Okay. This was meant to be just a loose little chat, knitting chat.
Yes.
Yeah, and it has become that. What else? Is there anything else we want to talk about today?
That's all I had for today.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have another one soon.
Yeah, we will. From back home.
From back home. No more surfboards.
Yeah, no more mountains. Mountains are not that far away, so
We're heading out waterfall repelling this afternoon.
of course you are. Yeah, it's 5:30 here now, so we're gonna have something to eat. And then what is really nice is that the light is coming back to Norway. Yeah.
Yeah.
And starting to come quickly. So
It is Minnesota too.
yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. And that feels good because it's 5:30 and just a couple of 2 or 3 weeks ago it would have been pitch dark now. Okay, and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna go out for a walk and then I am going to be knitting on my retreat cardigan.
Okay. I'm gonna go waterfall repelling.
Yeah, you do.
Knit tomorrow on the plane.
Yeah. What are you gonna knit on? Just
My
like-
needles.
Yeah. Okay, what color is that before we go?
They call it burgundy, but it's like a dark red.
Yeah, okay. Is that a Hillesvåg? Oh, that's all. Okay. So
I
what
loved it so much I ordered yarn for the Nidaros. I'm gonna do red and white.
So you're gonna have white on that one?
Yeah.
That's gonna be nice. Yeah, that is going to be nice.
I cannot wait.
I don't think I'm gonna have a Nidaros ready by the time we get to Nidaros, actually.
Throw your sisters.
It doesn't fit me.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what I will
I might
have.
have another Anne sweater to wear in the picture.
Yeah, stand in the back and then pretend that I'm wearing
there
it.
you go.
Okay, for anyone who are with us and still here listening, we would love to hear from you in the chat. We would love it if you click follow, and we would love to have you tell everybody about how fabulous we are so that you can share our little podcast. That sounded a bit, but still, I mean it. Tell the world. until next time, let's knit some beautiful stitches.
And Pura Vida, which means pure life in Costa Rican. Bye.
Lev lykkelig in Norwegian. Have a happy life.
Thanks for spending this time with us here on Anne's Norwegian Knitting, conversations where knitting meets culture, heart, and history. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to share it with a fellow knitter or leave a note to let us know what you think. If you want to know more about Anne's Norwegian Knitting, go to annesnorwegianknitting.com and check it out. Until next time, may your stitches be steady, your yarn untangled, and your heart full. See you in the next episode.